Welcome to the introduction about planetary meditation. As we all know from astrology and from also the Greek tradition, is that there are planets circling our solar system, and that these planets have a very strong influence on our own energy bodies. So, astrologically speaking, there are the fixed stars, the circle of the 12 which form our zodiac, and the planets move into and out of these 12 symbols. And when doing so, the energy of the fixed stars and the energy of the planets becomes conjoined. They mix together to form one new energy. And these are the energies which are available for us to build our energy bodies with at the moment of birth, and which will also stimulate our energy bodies when such a combination of fixed stars and planetary energy is coming to our Earth. So each of these planets, they affect a different part of our energy body. In Greek philosophy, they believed that for a person to really grow spiritually, to ascend, and also in Hindu philosophy, it is believed that the person should master all the different planetary energies in a way to escape from the form in which they have been cast when incarnating in this solar system. So the working with planets is very much a working with not just the energy outside of yourself, but also the inner aspect, and finding out how it reacts to the energy outside, to the source. Because the planets can combine with all stars, so it is very much a source. And out of this source we have one fragment, because at any given moment, and also the moment of our birth, there's just one set of stars which that planet is aligned to. Planets can also align with each other or oppose each other. This can also have very interesting effects and force people to have choices, or cause certain elements of our personality not to combine or work together well. So the different planets all are sources for different parts of our energy bodies. From more or less the center in, we will discuss the planets moving outwards. We won't really go into the outer planets, which were discovered much later and also have less of an impact on our energy bodies in general. So the first planet we will start with is the Sun. The Sun is very much the part of us which shapes our consciousness. So it is very strongly connected to our spirit and the impulses of our spirit, to our ability to be inspired, to create, to shape. Really to have the inner impulse which comes from the spirit, which can then later be manifested outward. So the Sun is very much the planet of being aware, knowing who you are, knowing what you are, knowing what you want. So it's very much a planet of self-knowledge, self-realization, if you will. And unless the solar impulse is very clean and clear, then usually the things you manifest will also not be very pure. They will not come really from your own inner core. The second planet is the Moon. The Moon is very much about our choices, because we are not pure spirits. We are basically a fragment of our spirit, which is encased in the consciousness of the human body. And the effect of the Moon is often compared to being in a dark room with a flashlight. Like, you can see part of the room by shining the light here or there, but you're never able to see the whole of the room. But by moving the flashlight around, you can have kind of an impression of what it is like. And this is what the moon is for. It is about working with your sensitivity, with your receptivity, with your attention, with your intuition, and using the environment, the people around you, the energies around you to light up certain parts of your being. So the moon is very much about choice rather than pure potential like the sun is. So the combination of sun and moon, you have pure potential and you have choice, create the foundation for manifestation, for action. And once this impulse gets started, you get to the next pair of planets. And these are Venus and Mars. So the effect of Venus is very much to allow yourself to adapt to the circumstances. So you have a certain impulse within you, but you also have a certain environment around you. You have a certain amount of space, time, energy, money, friends, contacts, and all these factors are going to demand something of you. And it is impossible to meet all demands perfectly, because we are in a very flexible world. And because of the flexibility of our circumstances, the change in our circumstances, we have to continually grow and shift and change ourselves to be well adapted, to be able to cope with what we meet in our lives. So this is very much the power of Venus, which gives us the ability of self-transformation. And through self-transformation we can ultimately move into manifestation, which is the Mars impulse. The Mars impulse is in a way the opposite. So you start out with feeling yourself rather than the environment around you. It's about self-awareness, and when you are aware how you want things to be, Mars gives you the power to start to change the world around you. So, for instance, if there is a problem, the Venus impulse will help you to change yourself so you can deal with the problem. I should not react so strongly, I should not be so sensitive, I should not let it bother me. These are Venus impulses. The Mars impulse is rather to say, hey, I don't like that, cut that out. So you're trying not so much to change yourself, but rather to use your influence over the world around you to create a change there rather than inwardly. So Mars and Venus are very much a pair which unlocks your ability to manifest what has already been chosen by you using your sun and your moon. So the next pair we will meet are Jupiter and Saturn. And Jupiter is about learning how to work with your allies. So the Mars impulse is still quite solitary, you're just using your own power. But Jupiter is very much about luck, about fortune, about support, about catching the energetic current and letting yourself be carried by it. So Jupiter helps you with finding the right place, the right people, the right time to do things, and just being both sensitive, lucky, and in a way also having rewards. If you act in a certain way, if you build up your energy body, then also the world around you can respond to that. They can attune to you. So it's very much a planet of harmony, you could say. Saturn is the flip side of the coin, just the planet of challenges. It's the planet of limitations. It's also the planet of law. So it is often quite difficult for us to focus ourselves. There is a lot of potential in each of us. And what should we do? This is always a matter of doubt, a matter of choice. And what Saturn does, it limits our amount of choices. It gives us focus. So basically I might want to be an artist, but if my job is, I don't know, to be a salesperson, then because of my job there are limits to how artistic I can be. I can't just grab like a client and start painting his face. This is not what is expected or normal behavior. And these expectations of society, the niche you find yourself in, also the limitations of your physical body, your energy body, your emotional capacity, your sensitivity, your mental capacity. All these limitations, which are in a way also generated by your karma in your previous lives, they're administered by Saturn. But Saturn also gives us our real challenges, our real possibilities for growth. Because we can, of course, easily grow into areas where there's no resistance. It requires very little skill, just requires the will. But for higher levels of growth, we need to show some self-control, some discipline, some mastery. And it is exactly Saturn which allows us to develop this. Because if something doesn't succeed at the first time, we have to think deeper, we have to try harder, we have to be more exact, more precise, more in control. And this is the growth which Saturn is generating in us. So these 6 planets are basically how we also progress in life with everything we do. First, we need to be aware of the solar impulse, our capability. Then we need to use the lunar impulse to make a choice. Then we use the Venus to make sure that we are capable, we are ready. Then we use Mars to be able to manifest ourselves. And for the perfect manifestation, we need to have the perfect timing, good circumstances, which is the Jupiter impulse. And ultimately, ideally, we will also really enhance our capabilities, show that we're ready for a greater responsibility, a greater talent, by overcoming the obstacles Saturn creates for us. So to manage this whole process of these 6 steps, we have a 7th planet, the planet of Mercury. Mercury is very much the planet which can combine all these aspects into a single consciousness, into a single view of what is the strategy, what are the weak points, what are the strong points. So Mercury is a very important planet, but Mercury itself serves little purpose if the other 6 planets have not been mastered to a decent degree. So in our series we will do meditations on each of the planets and learn how to work with them.